The American dream is dead.
Hey guys, you wanna know what's dead in 2024? Yes, you guessed right. The American dream is dead. The white picket fence and that sort of lifestyle where it's not fake it till you make it, but like literally kill yourself until you have everything you want in life. It's a dead dream. I remember just fighting and fighting my way to have, say, 3 cars in the garage, have a big, nice home that's right outside of Dallas, Texas, and Rockwall, Texas. And it's this beautiful house right here. And we lived there for about 6 months, and we had the nice little decked out Wagoneer truck. The best of the best, you would think, right? But needless, the stress and the sort of depleting my soul type of life was out of control, and I wanted a better way. So by the grace of God, he sent us to Medellin, Colombia, and we've been out of sort of the rat race, and it's been a game changer. I mean, everything from my health, my wellness, just my life in general has changed for the better, and I'm so grateful for that. And I want to share with you guys a couple thoughts some other folks had pertaining to, you know, just the American dream, sort of the pain that comes with trying to obtain the American dream. And I want to share with you a couple stories. One, there was a vet that I heard of that he was living on edge. He didn't have much, you know, he was trying to live day by day, week by week, and really just budget his maybe $400 every week. Like I think was making what, $1,600 a month. And he got into a place where he was so frustrated, he wanted to take his life and commit suicide. He was in a really low moment. And then he had this courage to just up and leave America. And he moved to Latin America, and he sort of started his journey of becoming an expat, making a living on the wages that he earned. And by him moving, not to Colombia, but Mexico, he was able to essentially double the value, or was it double or triple the value amount of his dollar? And it transformed his life. He started really investing in the area that he moved to. He learned Spanish, and just the quality of life changed. But not only that, like the opportunities that opened up for his life changed everything. So with that being said, I want to ask you, what is it right now that you're hustling for, that you're trying to obtain, that literally is causing, one, you to have mental sickness, mental illness? Maybe 2, it's causing you to forget the true values that you hold. Like, I mean, if you want to live a healthy life, you have to keep intact the values that you live by and live by them. And if not, you'll always feel as though you're out on the edge and you're far away from where you want to be. Your true north will be off, and you don't want to live that way. So I want to encourage you, ask God to reveal to you some different ways of life, the different ways you've been taught, to transform your thinking, to renew your mind according to, yes, the word of God, according to the precepts of the scripture, but also according to wisdom when it comes to, you know, what does God say about some of these things? Like, don't put your hope or your trust in treasures here that robbers and thieves break in and steal, but rather put your trust in the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth, right? Where no one can get to sort of this heavenly space where the Lord has predestined for all that he's set apart for his name's sake to obtain. Like, nobody can break into your heavenly castle, so to speak. No one can break in there. No robbers, no thieves. So invest in eternal things. But why wouldn't you want, on your way to eternity, to do what's wise? Not inside of the world, but really follow that deep-seated conviction that God lays on your heart as you move forward, and see what he might have for you. Because you can change up your lifestyle, you can change up what you do, but you have to have a courage and conviction and move into what may be next for you, if you know what I mean. So with that being said, I got a couple more thoughts I want to share with you guys. So yeah, just think of some alternatives. Like, I live in Medellin, Colombia, but I know people who have moved to France, and their opportunities there aren't the greatest. However, when it comes to making money and earning an income, however, the other benefits that come with moving to another country, specifically in France, healthcare is free. So think about what you can knock out healthcare wise. Healthcare is crazy expensive in America. Our baby boy, when he went to the NICU, and you can watch the video on our channel, when he went to the NICU for 10 days, it was guess how much it was? Just take a wild guess. Write in the comments what you think we paid for 10 days in the NICU. 3, 2, 1. Yes, you got it right. We paid $106,000 when our baby had to go to the NICU. And it is insane how much medical care costs in America. Now, back to the family that was recently moved over to France to get free health care. And not only that, the child care was subsidized, so it was a lot cheaper. It was a fraction of the price for them. And a lot of things that, you know, are in America that are super expensive are absolutely either free or dirt cheap somewhere else. I love what Brad Pitt said. He said, America is not a country, it's a business. America is a business, y'all. I love my country, and I've paid a pretty hefty price serving in the military, but now oh sí, yo entiendo. Te necesitas ayuda. Our Dios te bendiga, hermano. Ciao, ciao. So there was a gentleman whose wheelchair just got stuck on the sidewalk, and I just helped him out. But people are so kind here. Like, they're so quick to help one another and just take care of one another. And I just want to extend that same thing, that kindness. But needless to say, guys, it's a game changer when you think through, like if you're in America, you're living in a business. Everything is structured. It operates like a business. It's a place of capitalism. So you can expect for your capital to be sucked dry by the country that you're living in. And are you really living? Not to say like life is defined by what's taken from you. It's defined by what's given to you. God gave his son Jesus that you can experience life in peace, and that's true life. However, when it comes to just the lifestyle that you've been afforded through your ancestors, through your parents, through sort of the system that's built around you, do you truly sense that you should be there your whole life, or should you have the courage and move outside of the United States, become a digital expat? Now that's totally up to you. It's up to you and God. And you know, I don't know if you're a believer, where you feel your true north is, but mine's is Jesus Christ, and I highly suggest you try him out. But needless to say, make the decision and make it well. Like, there's so much opportunity when you stretch across the line of faith and you just move out and you explore. When we found out that our family values wasn't just faith and familia and family, but it was adventure, immediately within months, we uprooted and moved, because God led us here to Colombia, Medellin. It's been a game changer. Another thing many of you have seen in this video right now, that I'm walking sort of down the street, there's been people walking past me, walking in front of me, walking across the street, walking in front of houses, back into their homes. What's cool about here in Medellin, Colombia, people don't just stick in their homes. Matter of fact, you're gonna see somebody cross me here in just a minute. You know, the neighborhoods in America, as I remember them in Texas, especially in the summers, the hotter months, were so lifeless and depressing, and there was no community unless you were extremely intentional about finding community. And people in each sort of place that was out there journeying and trying to find you know, intentionally community that they can stick with and run with. A lot of times people will come into like a space of community, but they won't commit to community. Here in Medellin, Colombia, whether you want to commit to people or not, they're gonna be in your sauce. They're gonna show up at your door. They're gonna try to get to know your name. Not only that, they're gonna know, they're gonna wanna know the details of your life, like how can they help? How can they show up and maybe cook a meal on this night or that night, or even pick your kids up from school? Like, they move pretty quickly. They won't do that the first day, you know, the first week, first few months, but they'll try to find ways to become a huge help in your life. And I just love that. You didn't get that same type of warmth in America, but it's a game changer. Another thing I've noticed back in the United States is that, listen, you go into a Walmart there, you see people who have been retired essentially 20, 30 years back, as an 80-year-old working in stores like Walmart and different sort of grocery stores or places that are really receptive to sort of older audiences in the workspace. And it's sad because these people should be retired. If you like just come through one of these streets of Medellin, Colombia, and look at different houses, you see old folks that they're not even thinking about working. Like, they're in their best years. It's like progressively you're working yourself out of a job here, and you essentially find ways to have your home operate as a job, or as a place where you rent out sort of your garage so people can open up a coffee shop beneath you. There's a lot of like sort of structural ways they have set up here to where old people do not have to even worry about working, and they're super intentional about making sure that old people are given everything they need in order to be good. There's so many incentives for being old here, it's insane. Matter of fact, they spend a lot of time doing, you know, activities in the pools. They're walking and sort of doing their thing out in the exercise, sort of yoga. Like, you can see them early morning, groups of like 20, 30, 40 old people in a little courtyard working out together. And they work out religiously on Sundays as well. There's a street called the Golden Mile where people just walk up and down the street working out, doing some amazing things. So, man, I love it. I love seeing these old men engage the young kids here too. That's another thing about Medellin. You have old folks that just, hola, ¿cómo va? That just, they're still active and playing with kids in the street and doing some pretty incredible things. So, absolutely love it. Also, I have another quick story I wanted to share with you guys. It was about a young lady that moved to Thailand. She moved there for about 7 months and she lost 35 pounds because of the lack of non-produce food. And I've shared in a video, if you can see, it was about me losing 35 pounds in about 4 months by being really intentional on what I eat, going and running and working out. And it was a game changer for me, and I'll never forget that, how it changed my life. Just moving here and changing up my diet and really tapping into fitness in a stronger way. So, man, a lot of people have stories like that, testimonies of moving to different places in the world, being super proactive. And the terrain is different here. In Texas, Oklahoma, it's really flat. But if you come to a place like Medellin, Colombia, you'll be hiking and going up hills and mountains all day, which is incredible. And it's been such a great workout. Como va? Muy bien. So yeah, guys, it's a game changer. I hope we get to connect some more. Como va, hermano? Muy bien, gracias a Dios. So yeah, guys, I just seen one of my friends. I see him often. But yeah, so it's another horror story. Okay, there's another horror story. There was this girl that I used to go to school with that she was sharing about how she moved to America in 2008, and she became a citizen all the way up until 2014. But she said she was the most miserable in her life because she was working 70 hours a week. She had 2 jobs, and she was struggling to feed her family. She said it was the worst decision she made in her life. Now again, I am a former military guy. I've worked a lot of different gigs where I was in the military doing incredible things, and I love the United States. It's where I was born, it's where my family's from. My grandma was actually Native American, but at the end of the day, it was crushing me, y'all. It was crushing me, and then I found out there was another horizon, there was another opportunity to live in ways that I never could dream of right here in Medellin, Colombia. And we'll talk some more about this, but dude, I'm just saying, look into some places in Latin America, in Spain, I mean, Thailand, in the Eastern Province. You can go anywhere and you will just love what you see. All right, y'all, and just try it out. It's not for everybody, but it was for us. Hey, what's up guys? So I just wanted to share with you, as I have Medellin here in my background. This is only the south side of Medellin, as you can see here in Envigado. But what is the American dream? Let's talk about it just for a second. You know, the traditional concept for American dream is that you will work really hard and that you will continue to achieve some type of success, climbing the ladder and sort of getting that nice house and the white picket fence around it. That's traditionally what it looks like. But these days, there's a inequality when it comes to the economy out there in the United States. And I think it's important to discuss the crazy gap between the rich and the poor there. And a lot of people come from like poor homes, and I would say, looking through the perspective of Colombia, or you know, some of the other places here around the Latin America sort of space, and even going and visiting Philippines, there is no true statement when you say that people in America are poor. Like, the reason that I think that it's just so foolish is you got people living in wooden tents, like tents here up in the mountains, that are very, very poor. You got kids begging for food and throwing food on other people's sort of tab whenever they're at a store, just begging for even rice and oil and just milk and things like that. It's insane, the level of poverty here. Compared to the United States, you will never see that, because you have like food stamps, you have WIC, you have all these different government sort of opportunities from the government to really be helped and really achieve a pretty solid, successful lifestyle when it comes to just having the necessities, the basic necessities of life. Now here, that's not the case. Like, people aren't trying to thrive. Like in America, people are trying to survive. And I think one of the coolest things that you have and that you can take advantage of is being able to have your dollar that you make and work hard for stretch. When you sort of think outside of the box of the typical American dream, and you look to see how you can adventure out with your family and make an impact somewhere else and become someone's answered dream. I think it's a game changer by using the power of the dollars that you make in becoming an expat, becoming a digital nomad family, and becoming on mission for, you know, the kingdom of God, but also just experience a new, true lifestyle that will reach the areas of your heart that you never thought could be touched. I think it's a game changer. It also is true whenever you think through, there's a rising housing crisis out there. We talk about these skyrocketing prices for you to own a home. If you don't own the home, you're renting from somebody, and renting isn't a bad thing. But at the end of the day, if you rent your whole life, remember that you're paying off someone else's sort of, you're paying off their home for them. You're paying off their properties for them. Why not own your own and attain that? Also, I know you guys have felt the burden of student loans. I know that was one thing that I've dealt with, is just the crippling, the most crippling thing about young adults right now. And that's why so many people who are Gen Z are like, I don't want to go the college way, because at the end of the day, a lot of people who have went to college statistically aren't doing what they set out to do in college, and they paid hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars to do that. But now they're hopping on a new wave called content creator, influencer, or even just coming out with new ways and unique ways to be established as some type of entrepreneur, or start or build their own thing, you know, that really brings value to the world and the people around them. So I think it's important to think through what are some tangible ways you can make an impact and not necessarily depend on the school system or loans from the school system specifically. And I think one of the cool things that has happened in my life is I've gotten a tribe of mentors to really help me to get to where I want to be. It's super important to roll up your sleeves and work hard while finding people who are in the position and place that you want to be, so where you don't have to go that long making mistakes, but you can learn from their mistakes. And even there may be favor where they'll help you even quicker get to where you want to be. So the next thing outside of student loans and thinking through like why it's important for children and people in America to reconsider sort of their education process and invest in potentially becoming an expat or digital nomad, where you travel the world, you meet people from all over the world in sort of digital nomad places like Medellin, Colombia, where there's people all over the world that I've been meeting at coffee shops. There was a guy from Sweden today that I'm learning from. You get more like a global view and perspective of some of the things that you're doing. And it just really gives you a deeper nuance for actual global sort of business and the economical value that comes with that. So, which is really cool. The next thing is health systems and healthcare. Again, I was sharing how healthcare is crazy in the United States, but here you see that hospital right there across the road, that big white building with the little black mark in the middle right by our house. Like literally I went there maybe the 4th week we were here because I started having some problems with my asthma, and a lot of it deals with some of the pollution that can be here. That's some of the negatives if you live down in the flat area rather than up there. See, if you live up in the mountains, the air's a lot clearer, it's fresher. But if you live down here where all the traffic and cars come, you can run into some issues. So I went there, needless to say, they took care of me within, wow, that motorcycles, that's the thing, motorcycles are so loud here. But they took care of me within an hour, hour and a half. And the bill was, guess what, y'all? I didn't have any insurance at this time, but the bill was only $12. I mean, I went through a pump. I had this like machine. They did some type of IV. No, they gave me some type of shot, which put more saline in my blood and things like that. It was just crazy. But they took care of me, and I walked out of there feeling brand new for $12, which was a game changer. In America, that easily would have been a $120 or $40 bill, easy. And then the last thing is the job market and job security in America. It's just, let's share it and take it for what it is. And you know, at the end of the day, no one has the type of job security they used to have. I mean, I know and have heard of people being in a job for 20, 30 years and being laid off, including the military and different government agencies setting back and laying people off. You can't depend on nothing these days. That's why I highly encourage people to get very sustainable, find unique ways to sort of build your own business within your family to create generational legacy, or have equity in another business, have partners where you're constantly chasing a vision and being like-minded and running after it together. Because at the end of the day, if you become an employee, you're at the mercy of a boss. And it's important for you to understand that, hey, the reality is there's no security outside of the security we have in God, but also outside of what we're able to build through Him helping us build and grow upon sort of the wisdom and knowledge and, you know, understanding that we can get from the spaces he's graced us to be using our gifts and talents. I love what Solomon says in this beautiful book called the Bible, but he says, sow your seed in the morning, but don't let your hand go idle in the evening, for you don't know which one will prosper you, whether this one or that one. And it's important to understand, yes, go to work, find that 9-to-5 job, do it good. So I'm not telling you not to work a job. It's important to have a job, have income coming in. But secondly, make sure as an entrepreneur, you're starting something, you're using those gifts that God gave you, and find a way to monetize that which you build, so your right hand can outwork your left hand and you can work yourself out of that job. Amazing wisdom by Solomon. The next thing I would say, the quality of life is just greater. Just as I was sharing, I was just on the motorcycle, having a lot of fun going up the mountain, and it's hard to find weather around the year that la clima es muy bueno. So like out here, the weather is amazing. Throughout, it's hard not to be able to get up and get out and walk and run around, because you don't have the excuse that it's too hot, that it's too cold, that it's just not the right time, because every moment is the right time when you're living in a place that is conducive for you to grow in the fitness realm. And I think it's a game changer. As you can see, there's a place called Body Tech, a gym across the street where you can go there, and there's all types of different ways you can get trainers around you, a community of people working out with you. I don't go there personally yet, but in the future, me and my wife have been talking about potentially jumping into some opportunities like that. And we talked about mental health and some of those things, but the conclusion I would say is have alternative dreams. Instead of building your dreams upon money and the amount that you have, because you'll never have enough in America, find ways to uniquely stretch past that parameter of your cute white picket fence and go across a border and make an impact across, not someone just across the street, but overseas, and invest some dollars in different places that God may be calling you to. Go to different countries, see different people, cultures, immerse yourself in different languages, become a person that isn't just closed off and boxed in. That's my biggest encouragement. It's been a game changer for me and my family. And I think there's alternative ways to model success in the world that we live in today that doesn't look like our parents look, our grandparents look, and the way it was modeled before us in the States, in America. But it's looking and stretching yourself beyond to something that's far greater than you ever can imagine for your children and their children and their children, by opening them up to things that you would never expect, which is a melting pot of opportunity, and that you can pass down to your children from different cultures. So lastly, I would say this. After addressing these points, I want you just to write in the comments any other things you would like to hear about sort of expat life and becoming a digital nomad, and us being a digital nomad here, family here in Medellin, Colombia, and any advice and tips you may have. We want to be able to share from our unique perspective, only being 8 to 10 months in, and it's been incredible. So God bless you guys. Make sure you like this video, share it. I mean, just enjoy as we continue to move forward with some new amazing content. All right, guys, peace.